All right, Raider Nation, it's been a busy news day with the Las Vegas Raiders today. Maxx Crosby just signed the biggest contract that did not go to a quarterback in NFL history. A contract extension of over 3 years, worth over $100 million, with over $90 million of that being guaranteed. Absolutely phenomenal. Congratulations to Big Mad Maxx for making sure that he is now set for life. The dude's dream of one day maybe become a part owner of the Raiders. Well, now he'll have the money to do that. So we'll see if in the future we'll be seeing Tom Brady and Maxx Crosby kind of take over this organization in 20 years from now, because Maxx Crosby is now set until the 2029 NFL season. He will be a Raider. Obviously, things could change. He could get hurt. He could retire suddenly. He could get traded. All kinds of different things could happen. But Maxx Crosby, as it stands right now, will be a Raider. Now, with that being said, also, the Raiders made another big cut in Gardner Minshew. I guess another big deal in cutting Gardner Minshew, so he will no longer be with the team. This is going to free up about $10 million in cap space, so the Raiders can utilize that, one, to pay Maxx Crosby because the dude is now super rich, and two, also to go out and get some more players in this free agency and kind of solidify this team a little bit more and upgrade this team a little bit more. But now that the big contract of Maxx Crosby is done, there's other contracts that need to be looked at and negotiated and finalized, because we have players that we're going to lose if we don't do so. Trayvon Moehrig, he's one of the guys. Nate Hobbs, he's one of the guys. Robert Spillane, I talked about it in today's earlier video. He's one of the guys. But you know what? At the end of the day, the Raiders have a lot of money. So I think that these guys are all going to be back for the most part. Guys like Marcus Epps, probably not going to be back. But one thing is about being back is when you lose power, that really sucks. So I'm going to hit you with an ad break right now talking about Vtoman Solar. You guys have heard about me talk about these guys before. Their power in the computers, their power in the lights, their power in the AC and the heater. They're powering everything out here with their 400-watt solar panels that they sent to me. They are absolutely fantastic. They are rugged. They are durable. We live out here in a crazy wind-infested, high desert, freezing temperature at night, hot temperatures during the day, and these things have performed flawlessly. So listen, if you want to go and get yourself some real, true solar solutions, I'm going to drop a link down below to Vtoman Solar's Amazon page. Go and check them out. They got the Jump 1800. They've got a bunch of other solar power stations out there that have smaller solar panels down to 200 watts up to the big boy 400 watts is what I have. Highly recommend them. Thank you, Vtoman, for sponsoring the channel. Now listen, guys, what does this mean that Maxx Crosby is now solidified? What does it mean that Gardner Minshew is cut? We're going to get into both of those situations, because it's critical that we understand where the team is moving and where the team is not. Number one, let's start with Maxx Crosby. Maxx Crosby signing this deal means that he is locked into this team for the next several years, all the way to the year 2029 NFL season. So we don't have to worry about going out and getting a premier edge rusher to replace him in the draft or in the free agency, because we got that piece locked in. We have Christian Wilkins locked in. We have Tyree Wilson for a couple more years. And the Raiders are right now apparently working on a deal to extend or re-sign Malcolm Kuntz. And if that happens, you have a solid defensive line. And that's going to give you room to work on the rest of your defense, whether it be cornerback, whether it be safety, whether it be linebacker. Now, if the Raiders can re-sign Robert Spillane, which I highly advocate that they do, I know that there's other options out there. I talked about it in my video earlier today, but I still think that Robert Spillane is a captain of this team. He's a leader of this team, and you really can't do without him. You can't let him just walk to the free agency. I think out of all the free agents contracts that need to be addressed, I think Robert Spillane is probably the most important one. You can replace a safety in this league the way that they use safeties today. replacing a guy with the production and the leadership of a Robert Spillane, that's going to be difficult. So I think now that you've got the big contract done with Big Max, now you can focus on these other contracts, because you kind of got to worry about getting Max's deal done first, keeping him satisfied and happy, and then you can deal with the smaller contracts, because now you know how much money you're going to have to allocate over here and allocate over there. So look forward to now, over the next coming days, a possible Malcolm Kuntz deal. Robert Spillane, Trayvon Moehrig, Nate Hobbs. Those are the big ones that need to get done, and I think that they will get done. Adam Butler, another guy that you probably want to re-sign at least for another 1 or 2 years and see what he can continue to give you, because Adam Butler is a very good defensive tackle. Also on the offensive side of the board, we cut Gardner Minshew. Basically, we haven't cut him yet. We informed him. The Raiders informed him that they will be cutting him this coming next Wednesday when the new league year officially starts, and he will not be back with the team. We cut Desmond Ridder last week. So we're basically down to Carter Bradley and Aiden O'Connell. So the Raiders will absolutely bring in another quarterback. And that quarterback is most likely going to be a veteran. And from what I've been kind of hearing, the Raiders the Raiders' new regime anyway, may not be as sold on Shedeur Sanders as Tom Brady and Mark Davis were. And so Shedeur Sanders may not even be an option for the Raiders. Even if he was available at pick number 6, the Raiders quite likely could pass on him and go with somebody else, like an Ashton Jeanty or a T-Mac out of Arizona. But what are the Raiders going to do at quarterback? Well, the front runner right now is Sam Darnold. Let's just be honest. I've been talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it. It's not a secret. Sam Darnold is the number 1 quarterback that the Raiders are interested in at this moment. Now, I talked about earlier, Maxx Crosby said how great it would be to have Aaron Rodgers come play for him. And only way that would probably happen is if Davante Adams were to swallow his pride and come back. According to sources, Davante Adams has been talked to by the Raiders since being cut by the Jets. And it is a possibility that he could come back with the Raiders, but Davante isn't sold on coming back to the Raiders because he feels hurt about the way that things ended last year. And to be honest, I think if you're Davante Adams, you would be kind of silly not to come back to the Raiders right now, because you're a 32-year-old wide receiver. You know this team. You know the teammates. You don't have to go start over somewhere else. And how much longer are you going to be in the NFL? 2 years, most, maybe 3 if you really stretch it out. If you live in Vegas right now, you might as well come back, contribute to the team, especially if Aaron Rodgers were to come. It's a long shot that Davante or Aaron will be in the silver and black in 2025. Aaron Rodgers could quite likely just retire. If that were to happen, Davante probably ends up in the San Francisco 49ers because they just traded Deebo Samuel and they need a replacement for him. And so I think this would be a good option for him as well. The Raiders, however, are big contenders on Sam Darnold. We already know that they intend to officially meet with him on Monday as soon as they possibly can, according to league rules. But we also know that conversations happen before those league rule dates actually come into play. And so it is believed that the Raiders have already spoken to Sam Darnold's camp as well as Russell Wilson. I expect one of the 3 to happen. Sam Darnold, number 1, come to the Raiders, 3-year deal. Russell Wilson come to the Raiders on a 1 to 2 year deal. Or Aaron Rodgers come to the Raiders on a 1 to 2 year deal. Guys, let me know how you feel about this down in the comments below. And let's go, Raiders!